This is Campus News, reporting the top stories from colleges and universities.
Next on Campus News.
See how NDSU students are spending their Saturday nights on the lane.
In Campus News Sports, see how one Dragon basketball player is nearing the end of a stellar career.
Students at NDSU show why they're ecstatic about evolution.
But first, find out how MSUM students are patching in for a good cause.
Good morning and welcome to Campus News. I'm Tanner Robinson.
And I'm Shannon Blumgren. Giving a gift to someone in need can always light up a face.
Reporter James McCarty and photojournalist Anthony Frigian show us how students at MSUM are cutting time out of the classroom and sewing it into charity work.
So my name is Carissa Lamont, and my title within the Communicators in Action student organization is the president. So I am making a tie blanket that's going to be donated to some of the infants at the Sanford NICU. There's a whole group of us here that are making tie blankets, and it's with the student organization Communicators in Action. We have done a variety of other volunteer events. So earlier this fall, we did a Letters for Veterans event. Wrote letters, basically thank you cards that we sent to veterans at the VA, just thanking them for what they've done for our country. We had a couple connections with past alumni who work at Sanford. So we had talked to them and just kind of said, we're thinking of doing a volunteer event. Do you know of any things that might be useful? And they had said, well, people sometimes volunteer and make blankets for babies in the NICU. And we figured that would be a great idea because most people can't resist babies anyway. So it's kind of a cute cause to do it for, and then helps out other things as well. So the NICU is a place where preemie babies, so essentially babies that haven't been in the womb for 9 months, they stay after they've been born. So they're usually there, and the doctors are there to monitor their conditions and make sure that everything is healthy and running smoothly before they're sent home with their parents. So it can be a very stressful time for parents and families. So it's always nice to have a tie blanket or something for them to feel a little bit of home. To be able to do it for humans as well, like these babies at the Sanford NICU, is such a cool experience. It's a really good feeling to be able to give back.
Communicators in Action hopes to deliver the blankets to Sanford by the end of the month.
The state of Louisiana is working on a program to help military veterans make it in the world of higher education. Lawmakers and the Louisiana Department of Veteran Affairs have a partnership to open 30 new veteran resource centers at colleges across the state. LA Vet Corps is a program designed to help veterans transition from military to civilian life, as well as transition into college. Each veteran center will be staffed by a trained service member who will help the veteran with their transition. LA Vet Corps will launch this fall. An NDSU professor is educating students about a deadly issue that is on the rise across the nation. Dr. Holly Hegstad talked with students about what they can do to spot potential symptoms of suicide and how they can assist others in seeking help. Dr. Hegstad has spent the past 2 decades as a clinical psychologist working with patients who experience various mental disorders. Hegstad hopes the talk can help start a dialogue among students.
Hopefully I can shed some light on what I think is a pretty important area of mental health, and that is keeping students safe from self-destructive impulses and some of the factors that contribute to that.
The talk was part 2 of a 3-part series on mental health issues. The Psychology Club is currently planning its final installment for the series.
Toxic masculinity. It's an issue that is causing national attention across the country, and the topic has found its way to the Fargo-Moorhead area. Activist and poet Perry Vision DiVirgilio spoke with students about the issue. Using his poetry, Vision spoke to students about his personal life as an African-American male and his battles against racism and sexism. Vision says he hopes the talk can help students become aware of their own prejudices and to not worry about how others think about them.
Continuously unpack their own stuff. You know, I think that's the work. we get too caught up in trying to unpack everybody else's stuff that we need to worry about what we can do for, for ourselves and with ourselves and unbecome what, the things that we don't like about ourselves.
Vision will continue his touring to colleges across America.
Students at Concordia College are raising awareness about sexual orientation and abuse. Students spent their free time educating others on various sex and gender-based issues, including how the modern family is changing the LGBTQ community and the Me Too movement. A select few of the presenters received scholarships for their work. Organizers say they hope the Expo can bring light to discrimination against non-binary people.
Gender is a lens that's affecting every aspect of our lives, and I think that we live in a world that still continually wants to stereotype and sometimes harm people based on the gender that they perform, as well as the type of gender that they are supposed to perform based on other people's expectations.
Dr. Knutson hopes that those who attended the event were able to learn how to combat negative gender stereotypes. Every year, graduate researchers at NDSU put aside their regular work to focus on the subject of evolution.
I checked out some of the students' displays and saw how they're taking their research out of the lab and taking people into the past. Darwin Days at NDSU is serious business. So serious, even dinosaurs came out of extinction to roam the halls of the A. Glen Hill Center. This two-day event celebrates the birthday of evolution researcher Charles Darwin and allows the public to see different projects based on evolution. Many students say they appreciate the opportunity to teach the public things they never knew before, including something about our feathered friends.
They were surprised that they evolved it independently. So when you talk about evolution, you think there was one ancestor and then everyone followed that one, but they evolved it independently. So they were kind of surprised and they were intrigued as well.
On the other side of the hall, graduate student Annika Clement is sinking her teeth
This is a manatee.
into her own evolution project.
I do get to deal with teeth a lot, but they're microscopic, so they're not nearly as exciting to bring to an event. When I say, I find teeth all the time, but they're 0.5 millimeter, so it's not quite as exciting as bringing these out. Mammoth, mastodon, grazer, browser.
Clement says this event is a breath of fresh air compared to the regular research she carries out on a daily basis.
Getting to talk about dinosaurs is always fun, but I rarely get to do that, even though I'm in the Triassic. There's no dinosaurs underwater, so rarely get to talk about those.
All in all, Darwin Days taught many different lessons on evolution through different animals, and these lessons helped those who came piece together the past. This is the 10th year of the Darwin Days celebration at NDSU. The increasing number of computer science majors across the U.S. is causing classrooms to overload with students. However, this is not the case for MSUM. Over the past 5 years, over 100,000 students are joining the computer science field, and the number continues to grow. But at MSUM, there's still an avenue for students to get into the classes they need. The school recommends students take a 5-year plan to further avoid overcrowding classrooms. Data USA says nearly 2 million people are working in the computer science field, and on average, they're making over $90,000 per year.
The University of Central Florida is training the next generation of space explorers. The Orlando School is adding Aerospace Engineering to its curriculum. Students who go into the program will learn all they need to know about space. There are over 2,000 space exploration companies in Florida. UCF has produced more graduates hired by space companies than any other university nationwide.
Minnesota State University Moorhead students showed their appreciation for campus during Valentine's Day. The I Love MSUM wall was on display at the Student Union last week for all students and faculty at MSUM. The wall is a community art project that started in the fall of 2018. Since then, they've brought it out at several events, including homecoming, student senate events, and their welcome back event for the spring semester. With this wall, they hope to inspire a sense of belonging and connection to the Dragon community. Associate Director of Student Life Annie Woods says the idea came to her last summer, and she wanted to share all the reasons why people love MSUM.
The purpose is really to help people think and pause and talk about why they care about the place that they're at and why they care about the community they're part of.
The wall will be on display for the next 2 weeks at the Comstock Memorial Union. Every other year, MSUM's percussion ensemble assembles to present some unique sounds.
Reporter Peter Van Batavia takes us to where the group is drumming up a storm.
It's actually like this day-long event. Like there's all this stuff going on. It's not just a pan concert, but it's just like this big, awesome percussion sort of ensemble event.
Minnesota State University Moorhead's Biennial Day of Percussion snares percussionists from all over to share their rhythms. Professional musicians from multiple fields join students on campus to teach and perform with them. Dr. Kenyon Williams makes sure that there's a variety in the clinic's offer.
Each year we do Trinidadian steel drumming as the backbone of the ensemble, and then we always rotate in a second culture every year. So last year, for example, we did Brazilian samba and steel drums. This year we did African drumming and dance and steel drums.
Students not only learn how to play, but they also learn some philosophy and history.
What made them special and what made them unique? Not just the perfection, but the mistake.
So the scene that you have here today with all these pan players that you see, this is happening all over the country.
The Day of Percussion attracts students from as far away as Duluth, who come excited to experience the event.
This is just, it's too cool, it's too special.
I was like, dude, I get to play some classic rock songs with a bunch of steel pan players? That sounds awesome, count me in.
This one was kind of on my radar, so I knew about it, and there was just so much going on that kind of drew me in.
The Day of Percussion culminates in performances for the public, featuring the students led by the professional musicians. Dr. Williams finds huge value in allowing these students access to these musicians.
So nowadays you can turn on YouTube and you can watch the world's greatest drummers playing the world's fastest, craziest licks, but that's nowhere near the impact of seeing it firsthand, and it's certainly not the impact of afterwards being able to walk up, shake their hand, and say, how did you do that?
You know, there's something about percussion that it's like a heartbeat, and I think it's something that really resonates for people, and drumming just seems to bring people together and unify each other. So I think that the students like that sense of community that happens with the Day of Percussion.
For Campus News, I'm Peter Van Batavia.
Over 60 steel pan performers arrived from Bismarck, Minneapolis, Moorhead, and Duluth to celebrate and perform.
Tibetan monks destroyed a one-of-a-kind work of art in the name of learning at a California college. Allen Hancock College in Santa Maria hosted the monks while they made a mandala. It's a circular symbol used in Buddhism and Hinduism to represent the universe. 8 monks painstakingly crafted the piece using millions of grains of colored sand. But students didn't have long to admire it. The monks destroyed the mandala, spreading the grains as part of a spiritual ceremony. The monks say they did it to teach people nothing lasts forever.
Art majors on campus at Minnesota State University Moorhead have the ability to promote their art in a gallery before they graduate. In the Center for the Arts building at MSUM, students can walk into the creative side in the art studio on campus. The exhibit is full of different artifacts, paintings, and drawings, all created by students. It is open to all students on campus, and it is often looked at by professional artists over the Midwest. Currently, you will find the seniors preparing for the Bachelor of Fine Arts collection that will be displayed February 28th.
It's been a long winter for Fargo-Moorhead College students, but some are finding relief enrolling strikes and spares at NDSU's Weekend Madness.
Reporter Alex Larson tells us more on why some students are staying on campus this weekend.
The cosmic lights are shining brightly this weekend at NDSU's Memorial Union. Weekend Madness has been attracting students with its great deals and fun atmosphere. Weekend Madness deals offer free bowling and billiards for students of the university. With a successful turnout almost every week, students keep coming back.
It's a nice time to get away from campus, well, not campus, but school activities, and be able to kind of relax with friends or get to socialize with other students on campus. and get to enjoy a game of bowling or pool.
This offers a great free option to students who live on or off campus when the winter nights are too frigid to be outside. Student Caleb Tronis does just that.
I come here to play pool just because I love playing pool. My uncle taught me how to play it and all that stuff, and it was pretty fun. And so I learned about this event through my RA.
NDSU offers this event every Saturday and Sunday from 9:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. With photographers Zach Thompson and Carrie Hoverson, Alex Larson, Campus News.
Weekend Madness has been a continuously growing weekly event at NDSU.
And now we turn it over to Alexis Kennedy for a look at this week's sports.
Guys, with March Madness almost upon us, we have a team that's no stranger to playoffs. With an NSIC Northern Championship in sight, MSU women's basketball is looking to finish their season strong. Reporter Griffin Nelson takes us to the court to see how the last weekend of home games wrapped up for the Dragons.
MSUM fans have been spoiled this season and turned out in great numbers for the final women's basketball home game. A game with massive conference championship implications turned ugly quickly as the Dragons used lockdown defense to keep the Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs at bay in a 72-56 victory. Head coach Carla Nelson liked what she saw from her team after a recent drop in play.
There's no really magic potion, but I thought we just executed a little bit better than what we've done in probably the past 3 or 4 games.
It was a special night for MSUM's lone senior, Jackie Volkert. Volkert finished her final home game with 14 points and 6 assists and was honored at half court after the victory.
Pretty amazing. I didn't expect this game to be basically like the championship game.
Volkert surpassed 1,000 career points this season and is knocking on the door of the school's all-time assists record.
Well, I think Jackie's stats speak for themselves. You're talking about a young lady that's part of 3 North Championships.
As the Dragons chase a deep postseason run this year, Volkert sees no limit to the team's future.
Obviously, I'm the only senior, so anyone can get better. Everyone's going to get better. Next year is going to be awesome.
And with another Dragon at the twilight of her career, Coach Nelson wants to enjoy every remaining moment.
Off the floor, Jackie's just a tremendous person, has grown a lot over the last 4 years, and we just need to make sure that we keep playing so we get to spend more quality time together.
With photographer Damian O'Donnell, Griffin Nelson, Campus News Sports.
MSUM women's basketball is on the road tonight playing their final regular season game at the University of Mary. A former North Dakota State University men's basketball player is officially a professional in Bulgaria. Paul Miller from Waukesha, Wisconsin signed with the team BC Barreau in Bulgaria's top basketball league. Miller played for the Bison from 2014 to 2018. He's one of 4 players in Bison history to get at least 1,700 points, 500 rebounds, and 200 assists in a career. BC Barreau is in the 2nd place in his division right now. Miller's in the 5th on NDSU's all-time leading scoring list with 1,719 points. 11.2% of college students across the country experience sexual assault.
It's on us, MSUM, to end sexual assault and sexual violence on our campus. It's on us.
That's why athletes at Minnesota State University Moorhead joined the It's on Us campaign to help prevent sexual assault. It's on Us wants students to recognize situations, intervene during those situations, and create a sexual assault-free environment. MSUM Student Athlete Advisory Committee made a video of student athletes stating the It's on Us pledge. They also put out a table at last weekend's basketball game to collect signatures in support of ending sexual violence. Junior Madison Page was a part of the group and worked to inform people about the campaign.
My favorite part was getting to talk to people, having them come up to the table and asking what we were doing, what the stickers were for, and just kind of explaining that we want our campus to be a sexual violence, sexual assault free campus.
SAC and its members collected over 200 signatures throughout the game. As the NDSU Bison pick up their 7th ring, this year the fans have their own title to cheer about. Wallet Hub ranked Fargo as the 3rd best city in the nation for college football fans. The ranking was based on multiple factors, including the numbers of teams in a city, championships, and fan engagement. The only other teams ranked higher than NDSU were Clemson at number 1 and Alabama at number 2. The Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference held its 6th annual It's a Slam Dunk, Don't Drive Drunk campaign. Minnesota State University Moorhead is one of the schools to host this region-wide effort to educate college students about drinking and driving. Those who pledged to never drive drunk got wristbands, pens, and shirts. It's a slam dunk Don't Drive Drunk is done to commemorate the son of Southwest Minnesota State University head basketball coach Brad Bigler, who was killed by a drunk driver.
Take a bad situation in our conference and turn it into something greater and bigger, a part of all of us, and sure, bring awareness to everybody.
SAC leaders collected over 250 signatures at the basketball game to not drink and drive. One MSUM senior is testing dance's social norms. Reporter Madison Nelson-Gira takes us to the dance studio.
For Noah Roddy, the arts have always been a part of his daily life. But lately, dance has given him a creative avenue to express himself.
Dance has snuck up on me, kind of, how much I love it. When I came here, I had no formal dance training. I'd always done musicals and simple choreography like that, but I never danced. And then I got here and we were learning, and I was picking up pretty quickly. And my instructor was like, "You should make sure you continue this because you grab things very quickly, and that's good." And so ever since then, I've just tried to learn as much as I could, and it has grown to a very strong love for it.
Competing in a sport uncommonly played by males, it is something he has embraced and used to his advantage.
There's a growing number of male dancers in it, which is awesome. Yeah, it typically is a more female-dominated sport, and I feel only things I've had to overcome is just maybe people making some comments. They may not even be towards me. They'll be like, "Oh, are you keeping those girls in check?" Or, "Oh, are you watching them girls?" And it's no, weirdo.
Noah says that being a man, the moves don't come naturally, but he has changed his dance technique to fit his unique build.
So just go here, back down.
It's not that men shouldn't do them, it's just that it doesn't necessarily look the best on men because we're built differently, and that's what I've learned, especially being on the dance team, is that sometimes I had to change the moves because my body doesn't look right doing them.
It might look different from the outside, but that's what makes Noah unique and what he hopes will inspire other younger male dancers.
8. If you want to do it, do it. If you want to play football, go play football. If you want to do track, do track. But if you want to dance, find a studio near you and start joining.
With photographer Alexis Kennedy, Madison Nelson-Gira, Campus News Sports.
Noah's next performance will be this Wednesday at the men's and women's playoff basketball games. He will be dancing at halftime with the MSUM dance team, games starting at 3:30 and 5:30. Guys, I danced for 12 years and I don't think I would look as good as he did.
Tanner, I think you should put on your dancing shoes next.
Oh, I don't know about that, but we'll see. Thanks, Alexis. This year is our 35th year of Campus News on Prairie Public Television. To mark the occasion, we are taking a look back at some of our most memorable stories.
This week, we go back to 1997 to see the impact of a record flood on the University of North Dakota and the surrounding community.
The bell still tolls on UND's campus, but with a lonely, eerie ring. Like much of the rest of the Grand Forks area, the campus is evacuated and closed because of the flooding. About 2,000 of Grand Forks' evacuated residents found shelter at the Grand Forks Air Force Base. President Clinton visited the area earlier this week to see the devastation and ease the minds of those who wait and worry.
We have all come, first of all, to see firsthand what it is you've been going through. Secondly, to pledge to do our part to help make you whole. And thirdly, to tell you that we're for you. We have hardly ever seen such a remarkable demonstration of courage and commitment and cooperation and basic human strength, and we are very impressed and proud to be Americans when we see what you have done in the face of this terrible disaster. And believe me, it may be hard to believe now that you can rebuild stronger and better than ever, and we're going to help you do that. And we want you to keep your eyes on that future.
Also in the area for the disaster assessment were Representative Earl Pomeroy and North Dakota Governor Ed Schaefer. They were able to answer questions on what the flood has meant for UND.
You're coming up on the last 3 weeks, the most intense time in the school year.
and they have to throw in the towel and call off school for the rest of the year, cancel commencement. Obviously, this is a step no one wanted, and going forward, everything from putting the library back and all the classrooms is just part of it's an example of the comprehensive rebuilding this community's got to do.
UND has been a tremendous asset during this flood fight. As you know, not only did the students and the leadership there provide the quick response teams to help around the city, but now we have our emergency operations center over there, and various other facilities are being incorporated into this now recovery effort. So we really, really appreciate the campus.
Grand Forks Mayor Pat Owens, who has been a leader in the flood fight, also shared her views.
We have been very, very fortunate to be able to use some of their buildings for our EOC center, and hopefully we probably will have to headquarter some of our things there for a while until we get some dry land.
I saw something your mayor said the other day that struck me in particular. She said, what makes a community a place to live in is not the buildings, it's the people, the spirit and faith that are in those people. Water cannot wash that away, and fire cannot burn that away, and a blizzard cannot freeze that away. And if you don't give it away, it will bring you back better than ever, and we'll be there with you every step of the way. Thank you, and God bless you.
Although the devastation seems to have taken over the area, the people here have every intention to take it back. With photographer Art Thompson, Kirsten Keeley, Campus News.
Soon after that story aired, the reporter Kirsten Keeley went on to work for WDAY in Fargo.
She has been with the station ever since. She co-anchors and produces their 6 and 10 o'clock newscasts. And that's all we have for this edition of Campus News.
We leave you with another look at MSUM's Dance for the Stage class.
Thanks for joining us, and have a great week.
Campus News is produced by the Television News Workshop in the School of Communication and Journalism at Minnesota State University Moorhead in cooperation with Prairie Public Television.